Luke, you've got the marketing company, and then you guys have got this Dirtbags podcast. You're busy. Any time management, advice here? How are you able to pull this off?
Yeah, I can start there. I mean, what I learned is that figure out what I'm really good at and what I love to do, and just delegate out the rest. And so that's what I'm doing. I do a lot of podcasts. I get to travel a lot and do and speak to contractors, speak to colleges, different things like that. So really focusing on that. But we also need to have systems in place for our team so that if I bring on a client, like it's just clockwork. Like we know exactly what to do for every single client. What's really, really helped me be able to do things like this and manage my time is niching down so specific that we only work with excavation companies, and we also like know exactly what we're going to do based on their revenue and their free cash flow. So we kind of tell them what program we're putting them in, and then go on from there. So that has really helped me kind of step away from the internal stuff and manage my time a lot better. And so, I guess really just doing the things that I love to do. Like I just don't really have an off switch, but it's also things that I'm doing every day, like talking to people. I mean, shaking hands, going out to coffee, going out to dinner, going on site some places. So it's things I really enjoy doing, but also like having that family balance as well. And like, spending time with my wife and doing things like that is really important.
I don't think I have an off switch either, Luke. I think what I always try to do is whenever I wake up, we meet at the shop, we get our schedules and we just go. But then my day turns into, I try to do the most important things first, or the things I don't want to do first, because then I can get those out of the way. In my eyes, most important is going to be making sure all of our bills are paid, and then invoicing, right? Making sure we have money in the bank, making sure everyone's taken care of, our subs have been paid, any invoices caught up. After that, I'll start looking into scheduling to, what do we have coming up this week? Is there any weather that's going to intervene with anything? How can we reroute to make it the most effective for our schedule, and then also the most profitable? After that, it's, just kind of day-to-day task. You get pulled a million different places, and, there are times where you have to pick and choose things over others. And then that, there's not a priority list. I just think it's whatever is most convenient and whatever is, going to help you the most is kind of how I track that. But then I've also got a really good team of guys to where I'm not in the field every day. I help them out the best I can, but then they're the faces. They're the ones heading up all of the work outside. They're getting the day-to-day stuff done, which allows me to stay back end. Like Luke said, I can go to lunches with future, contractors. I can meet new people. I can meet new subcontractors that work under us, things like that. So.
And Luke, I'll jump in here. Like, it also helps you keep your head above water too, so you can see the big picture. You can see the strategy. You can see where are we going as a company. Where if you're just like in the trenches every single day, it's tough to do that. It's tough to see how things are going. What should we be doing? Where should we be pivoting? So that's another, I guess, piece of advice is like, sometimes you have to force yourself out, and maybe it starts at one day a week, having that CEO day where you work on your business and you force your team to go out, handle things, make decisions, like give them a little bit of ownership. But I think that's a huge help in long-term growth, is like being able to somehow remove yourself from the day-to-day internal operations.
100%. I think that's a lot easier said than done too, in a way, because there's a lot of companies that, they are 2 to 3 man guys, and, everybody's in the trenches, everybody's doing stuff, to where, and as an owner, you have to recognize that to say, okay, where am I going to be most efficient for my guys? But as soon as an owner takes himself out of the field, all of your guys have to be on the same page as this is a good thing, right? To where some of them would say, well, we're the ones in the trenches getting dirty, and you're just sitting at home, doing nothing. So there, again, Kevin, there has to be really good communication, and then just, you have to set a standard for your guys. You have to let them know, this is what I do. I have to do this in order to ensure that we are successful. So again, everybody's got to be on the same page, and that is a struggle. I know there's still days that I know some people are like, well, Luke just goes home, or Luke just does this. And there's a lot more than that. So I always love to dive into, the process with them and kind of show them, here's what I do. Here's what I need to do in order to be successful. Here's what I need to do in order to, in order to make sure that you and I still have jobs. And I think once they're kind of taken back and shown that process, then they understand a little bit more. But again, that is hard to establish that.
Yeah, it's not like you're taking off the afternoon 2-3 times a week, right? It might be a Saturday morning. I mean, I'm the same as you guys. Talking about like an off switch is like difficult. I mean, like frankly, if this sounds like absolute torture to me, I don't know about you guys, but has anyone ever said like, wouldn't it be nice to sit on the beach and read a book? I mean, like that.
I don't think I've ever said
like,
that. No, I'm not a reader, but
I've heard like family members say that. Like, so it sounds terrible. And if I was to do it, I would totally figure out how to start another business or, build on the business that I'm at. You can't turn it off. But one thing that I could say is, just in agreeing with you guys is, a 2-hour bike ride on a Saturday morning is so like mind clearing. The first half hour, you're just kind of like grueling and, thinking about the ride. The last hour and a half is like, it totally flips over. You spend like 10 minutes thinking about like nothing. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, my mind is completely clear and I'm going to solve a whole lot of problems. And I've got another hour and a half until I get home. But that's the way I do it. But,
love it.
Yeah. Tell me about goals. Do you guys, are you big goal setters? Do you talk about that with, your contractors? I've got my personal goals. We've got company goals. I make sure that, all of my guys tell me their goals, because then we try to figure out, through the company, how we can achieve those for them, how we can achieve my goals, how the company can achieve their goals. I think you have to write them down. Otherwise you forget them. I think they got to be present, whether you look at them 2 days a week, 1 day a week, 5 days a week. I think you've got to recognize them and just keep kind of a mentality of, this is what I want to do. Here's what I got to do to achieve it. So yeah, I think goals is probably one of the most important things as far as, more of a backside to your business to help kind of keep that motivation.